Who is a better NFL prospect, Joe Burrow or Chase Young?
They're about the same. I mean, you're splitting hairs. Now, if Young would have been more dominant over those last few games, Greeny, where he wasn't, maybe you say, hey, it's definitely Young. But the way Burrow played this year, now people say one-year wonder. Well, he played last year, and he wasn't horrible. He was solid. He was spectacular, though, this year. People say about the frame, can he hold up? Well, Eli Manning held up. It was the same critique of him. Eli Manning never had an injury. He was the true Iron Man at the quarterback position. So I look at Joe Burrow, the kind of year he had overall. There's no doubt if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, unless you get blown away with some huge offer or giving up 5 first-round draft picks or 5 early round picks over the next couple of years, you take Joe Burrow with that first pick.
So the argument to make Chase Young the first pick in this draft, understanding the significance of the quarterback, with Nick Bosa going 2 last year and his team's in the Super Bowl and all the rest of that, you don't see a place to make Chase Young the first pick in this draft?
No, because Kyler Murray had a really good rookie year, too. Think about the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona needs offensive linemen and wide receivers. Well, why are we saying they need it? Because they weren't very good at those spots, yet Kyler Murray showed well. So they have what they think is their franchise quarterback in Arizona. Nick Bosa went to a perfect spot. He's got all those first-round picks on that line, great talent overall. It wasn't Nick Bosa that made them a Super Bowl team. He was an accent piece, and he did a great job. But there was a lot of other things that John Lynch did really effectively, and certainly Shanahan did as the head coach to make that work. But I think in this case, you don't say because of that we got to go there. You need the quarterback. Kyler Murray was the right pick for Arizona. I think Joe Burrow would be the right pick for Cincinnati.
Okay, that's fair. Quickly, let me go to the other quarterbacks while I have you here.
Sure.
I understand that with Tua Tagovailoa, the injuries are everything at this point. But absent that, do NFL people view him as a better prospect, as good a prospect as Joe Burrow?
That's a tough call because it's not a fair call because of what Burrow did. Burrow was the better quarterback this year than anybody ever could have imagined, and had probably the greatest year you could have ever had from any quarterback in any year. And it's not like he has a weak arm. He's got a good arm, and you don't need a howitzer to be a great quarterback or a Hall of Fame quarterback in this league. The way he moves, his instincts, his competitiveness, all that's off the charts, and he played all those teams ranked in the top 10 or top 5, so the schedule was very demanding as well. I think in terms of Tua, those 3 lower extremity injuries, Greeny, are a concern. They have to be. And certainly you look at a guy, he's not physically imposing either, but he's a pure quarterback. He's got everything it takes. He can spin it. He's accurate. He's precise. He sees the field like no other. If all things would have been equal and there was no injury concerns, it would have been a debate, Tua or Burrow. Certainly, Greeny, I'm with you. It would have been a debate, but it wouldn't be a lock that Tua was going over Burrow based on the kind of year Joe Burrow had. So Tua at 5. Now Miami probably figured out we got to be picking 1 to get to it. Now you're at 5 because of the injury. Ironically, we talked about Miami back when they passed on Breeze because of an injury. Nick Saban passed on Breeze because of that injury. Now it's Nick Saban's guy with the injury that should be a Miami Dolphin if he's there at 5.
Just how significant a prospect is this guy?
Well, Chase Young, I think, is the safest pick in the NFL draft. And if you look at defensive ends that have been taken number 1 overall, how those guys turn out, Myles Garrett trending really, really well. If you look at Jadeveon Clowney playing really, really well. The guy before that, Mario Williams, like all 3 of those guys, Pro Bowl caliber players. Chase Young has all of the tools. And if you need a guy that's going to be an instant impact for you, that'll be able to help contribute to your team immediately, Chase Young is that guy. Now, the problem is with the defensive end, they don't have as much impact over the long haul as a quarterback. But if you want to make sure you're going to get it right and you're not worried about that guy ever being wrong, Chase Young, I think, is a Julius Peppers type of player.
When you look at the quarterbacks, Bart, do you think that Tua is going to last long enough to be the 5th pick in the draft as Mel is projecting there?
Well, I think about that sweet spot. And the sweet spot for me is the 3rd pick overall with the Detroit Lions. I don't see how the Detroit Lions let Tua get past them. They understand that they've had Matthew Stafford. He's only 31 years old, but we've seen what it looked like to have Stafford for 11 years. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with him. If you're a struggling young head coach in this league, you want to press the reset button. You can't let a guy with arm talent, vision, get away, because look, within that division, you have a lot of older quarterbacks. This is your opportunity to get a young gun, start off young, and really be able to trade that pick and trade Matthew Stafford and be able to get some picks to try and start off young with a young core. I don't see how you let Tua get by.
You have been on the Stafford to New England train for a while.
It just makes so much sense, right? Because, Matthew Stafford, even though he's been around for so long, he's only, 31 years old. So let him go to New England, get another pick. What you need in Detroit is depth. You need talent. And the only way you're going to get talent is by, getting rid of your biggest chip, which is Matthew Stafford. And it's also sending a nice little present to your friend Bill to say thank you for getting
listen, I mean, the sneaky big news out of this, Matthew Stafford was having an all-pro caliber season before he got hurt this year. And they were winning games when he was healthy as well. So I don't know that I think it's going to happen, but boy, it's an intriguing
That division is tough. And I don't know if going and getting a outstanding corner is going to be enough to get you over the top in that division.
We're so glad you're watching ESPN on YouTube.
For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app.
And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.